Chapter 67. In the current era of the 12 universes, only Beerus had managed to touch the threshold of Ultra Instinct, reaching the realm of imperfect Ultra Instinct. The other 11 gods of destruction hadn't even come close. Although each god of destruction possessed their own unique skills, and it wasn't necessary for them to learn the angel's Ultra Instinct. But when a god of destruction was appointed, the angel was responsible to guide him in the training of Ultra Instinct. Whether it could be mastered depended purely on the practitioner's mental tranquility and their aptitude for training Ultra Instinct. These two requirements alone had excluded almost all of the gods of destruction. But now, a mortal from Beerus' own universe had mastered Ultra Instinct. Although it was not perfect, merely stepping into the threshold was already quite an achievement. After all, a god of destruction still had the guidance of an angel. But the kid in front of him, Goten, obviously didn't have that kind of treatment. He must have done it all on his own. This spoke volumes about Goten's talent and comprehension ability. Shocked, Beerus glanced at Whis, obviously wanting to ask him what was going on. Why would a mortal from their 7th universe master Ultra Instinct? Could it be that Whis secretly taught this brat Ultra Instinct while he was asleep? Whis also shook his head with a puzzled expression. This was also the first time he saw Goten, and he was as surprised as Beerus when he saw him use Ultra Instinct. "Beerus-sama, let's continue our previous battle," Goten said calmly after casting Ultra Instinct. This was the requirement of Ultra Instinct. The mind must be calm to use Ultra Instinct. "Boy, you were able to master Ultra Instinct without Angel's guidance. I have to say that you surprised me once again," Beerus said with a smile. "I haven't been so surprised in a long time. But I still have to tell you, even if you comprehend Ultra Instinct, it is absolutely impossible to be my opponent. Besides, your current Ultra Instinct has only reached an imperfect level." Surprise was nothing but surprise, but if this kid wanted to defeat him by relying on Ultra Instinct, it was simply a daydream. This was simply impossible. Even if he mastered the perfect Ultra Instinct, it was absolutely impossible to defeat him. "I know." Goten also nodded, very self-aware. "It's just that if I'm defeated like that just now, I would feel a little bit unwilling." His imperfect Ultra Instinct sign was really no match for Beerus, but his goal now was clear. That was to hope to pick up the destruction skill of Beerus through this final battle. "You aren't reconciled with your loss?" Beerus asked. "Then come at me. This time I will convince you of your loss." Beerus did not refuse Goten's request to continue. Since this kid was still not convinced, then he would beat him until he was convinced. Anyway, it wouldn't waste too much time. This time, Beerus took the initiative to flash out directly. In a moment, he was in front of Goten. His fists kept waving, punching punch after punch like a machine gun. Goten's body was surrounded by a brilliant aura. Between the small-scale movements of the body, he completely avoided Beerus's attack. "Okay, what a terrifying speed," Goku commented, looking at Goten in surprise. Is this what Goten is capable of? Although it seemed that the speed was not fast, and it was also a very small range of movement, they seemed to be able to see this kind of action clearly. But every time, Goten was able to avoid Beerus' attack accurately. Obviously, this was a very powerful ability, one that they couldn't understand. Beerus launched hundreds of attacks, one after another. But they were all avoided by Goten again and again. "HMPH, Beerus grunted. "This kind of hide-and-seek battle really doesn't give me any pleasure in fighting." Seeing Goten dodging all his attacks quickly, Beerus also said unhappily. In fact, he preferred the fighting style of Goten before. There was almost no dodging, and every time he chose to head with himself. That kind of battle could make his blood boil. Although Ultra Instinct was a pretty outrageous ability, the body's spontaneous avoidance was a bit too annoying. This kind of battle would make the opponent feel quite impatient, especially someone with a violent personality like him. Whoosh. But at this time, Goten took the initiative to attack. He appeared behind Beerus in an instant, and then an energy ball directly hit Beerus back. However, this energy attack did not cause any damage to Beerus. Not even the clothes were destroyed. He just felt a burning sensation in the back. Goten's attack has no effect on Beerusuma. Goku frowned slightly and spoke. The ability he is using now seems to have made him stronger than before when he transformed, but it has no effect. Goten told me before that the ability he has now is only on an imperfect level. Perhaps it is for this reason that his power cannot be fully displayed. If this ability is mastered perfectly, his strength should become stronger. Krillin on the side also immediately explained. At this moment, all of them knew that Goten couldn't win this battle no matter what. At this time, Beerus also frowned slightly. It's time for this boring battle to end. Then he turned his head and used the Ultra Instinct as well. His body flashed out. The bodies of the two turned into silver and purple light again. Started a fierce chase and collision. Accompanied by a minute of fierce confrontation, a figure directly descended from the sky. Then he fell heavily in front of everyone. Rumble. The luxury cruise ship shook violently again. This person was obviously Goten. Even with Ultra Instinct's sign, there was no chance of winning at all. Damn, there's no way to beat Beerus with my current strength. Goten clenched his fist tightly, but let it go again soon. This gap was really too big. Ultra Instinct simply couldn't make up for it. If it was the perfect Ultra Instinct, maybe he could still struggle for a while. But now, he didn't even have the strength to struggle. Originally, the energy in his body had not been fully recovered. Coupled with the rapid consumption of Ultra Instinct, made him almost incapable of fighting Beerus now. However, just when Goten had completely lost hope, the system's notification voice suddenly rang in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for acquiring the Hakai ability of a Hakaishin. Goten was overjoyed. He had almost given up hope of acquiring anything from the system in this battle. But the system's notification came just as his physical energy was on the brink of exhaustion. He felt as if the system was toying with him. Soon, a stream of information about the use of destruction ability flooded his mind. Amazing, Goten exclaimed, his excitement palpable. The beating I took was worth it. I finally acquired the Hakaishin's divine skill. His excitement was overwhelming. This was what he had been fighting Beerus for. Now that his wish had been fulfilled, the silver aura around his body disappeared instantly, and he returned to his normal state. There was no need for him to continue fighting Beerus. This was a battle he knew he couldn't win. Suddenly, Beerus landed in front of Goten. Squinting slightly, he looked at Goten calmly and asked, "Hey boy, do you want to continue fighting?" Hearing this, Goten gave a wry smile and replied, "Beerusuma, I have exhausted all my abilities and strengths. The gap between us is too great. No matter what I do now, it's impossible for me to defeat you. I admit defeat in this battle." Despite admitting defeat, Goten's face was filled with a satisfied smile. The battle with Beerus had allowed him to gain a lot. He had not only acquired the destruction ability of the God of Destruction, but also broken through to a higher level with the help of the battle with Beerus. This was a huge gain. There was no need to continue fighting. Beerus responded. "At first, I thought you were going to put up a desperate resistance. It seems you're not as foolish as I thought." You understand that the gap between us is insurmountable." Beerus sounded proud. The young man before him had finally surrendered of his own accord, which made him feel satisfied. The intense battle they had just had was something he hadn't experienced in a long time. In a flash, Goku and the others appeared again and immediately helped Goten up. They asked with concern, "Goten, are you okay?" I'm fine now," Goten replied with a natural smile. His current mood was probably better than anyone else present. Of course, Beerus was also in a good mood. Although he hadn't found the Super Saiyan God from his prophetic dream today, Goten's strength was not inferior to that of a Super Saiyan God. The battle had also been enjoyable. So now, he didn't want to destroy the planet, because it didn't make sense to do so now. He also appreciated Goten and didn't want to become his enemy for no reason. "Whis, after fighting for such a long time, I've used up a lot of energy. I need to replenish it." "Let's go back quickly," Beerus said to Whis, who was not far away. "Didn't you just say that ice cream doesn't taste good if it stays in the refrigerator for too long?" Goten smiled and said, "Beerus-sama, in fact, there are many delicacies on our planet. These delicacies are definitely something you have never tasted before. You can try them." As a transmigrator, Goten naturally knew that Beerus and Whis were typical foodies. The things they had eaten before were nothing compared to the delicacies of Earth. The Earth in the Dragon Ball world was also known as the Gourmet Kingdom of Universe 7. After Beerus had tasted the delicacies of Earth, he wouldn't have thoughts about destroying Earth in the future. "Oh, is that so?" Beerus responded pompously. "In that case, I'll try them. But if they don't taste good, I'll get angry." Beerus then appeared directly in front of Whis and started eating sweet shrimp sushi and pudding. Once he started eating, he couldn't stop. In an instant, Beerus and Whis became completely engrossed in their food. Seeing the two of them, it was hard to associate them with the god of destruction and his attendant. After 2 full hours of eating, the two of them stopped, though they still wanted to eat more. They couldn't fit any more food in their stomachs. These were the best delicacies they had ever tasted. If they ate too much and vomited it all out, it would be a kind of blasphemy to the food. "Burp, I'm so full," Beerus said, touching his swollen belly contentedly. He felt that life was really wonderful at the moment. He had just had a hearty fight, and now he could eat unlimited gourmet food. At this time, Whis stood up and walked over to Goten and Bulma. He had a gentle smile on his face. "Goten-san, these delicacies of Earth are really delicious," he said. "If we go back to the God Realm, we may not be able to eat them, so I thought, can I pack some and take them back to the God Realm?" The polite tone of his inquiry made everyone feel respected. For them on Earth, these foods were commonplace and nothing unusual. So of course, they had nothing to refuse. "Of course, Whis-san," Goten replied immediately with a smile. "If you want to taste the delicacies of Earth in the future, you can come directly to Earth again." Now, of course, he had to establish a good relationship with Whis. This would allow him to guide himself in training Ultra Instinct. On the other hand, he could also find a way to fight Whis and see if he could acquire Angel's abilities in battle or perfect Ultra Instinct. HMM. That would be great. "I'll definitely come when I'm free," Whis said, nodding quickly with a smile. The days in the God Realm were very boring. Moreover, there was no delicious food on the planets near the God Realm. Once Beerus fell asleep, he would definitely come to Earth secretly and taste some other delicacies on Earth. "Get ready, let's go back quickly, Whis. The battle just now has made me feel a little bit tired. I'll want to go back and take a nap." Seeing Whis talking and laughing with Goten, Beerus interrupted from the side. Beerus had slept for a shorter duration than usual this time, having slept for only 39 years. His awakening had been prompted by a dream about a rival Super Saiyan god. However, after his duel with Goten, his interest in the Super Saiyan god had waned. He decided to return and compensate for the lost sleep. "Very well, Beerusuma," Whis responded promptly, swiftly packing a dozen lunchboxes. Before departing, he turned to Goten and posed a question. "Goten, your power surpasses all mortals in the 7th universe. It's so immense that it could potentially obliterate some of the other universes. Have you ever considered becoming the new Hakushin of the 7th universe?"